Hello, everyone, and welcome back once again to Music and Moonsaults channel here on YouTube. I am your host, Chris Bordine, and this is the flagship show, Music and Moonsaults, where we talk music, the music of wrestling is what we're talking about. And so before we get started today, as always, please leave a thumbs up on the video. That would be a great help. And subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, please. I'm trying to get that subscriber count up a little bit. Nothing crazy. I'm not expecting to set the world on fire or anything like that, but a few more subscribers would make me feel good. Leave a comment on the video too, and as always, you can follow me at IbanezChris on the Twitter, and you can get at me on there and let me know what you think about everything that I'm doing here on the channel. So seeing as it's Valentine's Day, at least it will be when you first are able to watch this video. I wanted to talk about... Well, so here's the deal. Last month, it was a very heavy episode. A lot of information. And I was talking with someone who I respect greatly. Someone who's been a big help to me. And he gave me some helpful ideas of how to maybe streamline things. Because I know, I appreciate everyone who watched the video, and I'm hoping everyone who liked it. But sitting here and watching me by myself talk for an hour about all of AJ Styles' TNA theme songs probably is not on the high on the list of what people want to spend their time doing. So this week we're gonna make things a little simpler. We're gonna cut the fat, so to speak, a little bit. As I said, it's Valentine's Day, and love and romance certainly has had its place in wrestling over the years. Some good, some not so great. What I wanted to do is very rare whenever you see, couples form on screen. It's very rare that they go ahead and have a theme together that's like a love song type. But there's been a couple examples, and I'm going to talk about a couple of those examples today. First one I'm going to talk about, almost 20 years now. There was a tag team, Billy and Chuck. Billy was Billy Gunn, who, I think if you think about it, when you think about, great tag team wrestlers, he's got to be on the short list. When you think of, the work he did with the Smoking Guns and the New Age Outlaws, and as silly as the Billy and Chuck thing was, they had some success, won a couple tag team titles. So it was Billy Gunn, was the Billy, and the Chuck was Chuck Palumbo, who was, he came over during the, after the purchase of WCW, and he was part of the Invasion storyline. And then after that finished up, the two of them formed a tag team. And they both bleached their hair. Billy already had, he had blonde hair for the most part. But, Chuck Palumbo bleached his hair. And at the time, he still had long hair. And he would often wear pigtails. And they were, very tan fellows. And they wore matching red tights and red boots and even headbands when they came to the ring. And Billy and Chuck, they were how do I put this? They were made they were presented in a way that would lead you to assume that they were a homosexual couple, which at the time was like taboo or whatnot. And they, if you look it up on, I know Wikipedia is not always the most reliable source, but I was doing some research on them, and from what it sounds like, WWE actually worked with GLAAD during the duration of the team up until a certain point, like making sure that they were treating this with, some amount of respect, not making it a gigantic joke, which is what it turned out to be. But so they join up in late 2001. Like I said, they win the tag team titles a couple times. Eventually they add a manager named Rico, who's kind of like a buff hairstylist, I guess. The everything comes to a head though in September of 2003, when Raw and SmackDown are in the middle of this big feud, and Billy and Chuck decide that on an episode of SmackDown, because that's the roster they were on, they were going to perform a commitment ceremony where they were going to, pledge to be together forever and whatnot. And it's a famous, it's one of the more famous segments. There's a preacher, old man preacher, which it turns out to be Eric Bischoff in a bunch of makeup. It's revealed through the course of the ceremony that it was basically a big publicity stunt that, Rico convinced these guys that, hey, if you act like you guys are gay, it'll be, you'll get all this, popularity and stuff like that. And he was going to actually, have them commit themselves, to being life partners. And, it got to the, in the middle of the ceremony, Billy's like, hey, this has gone too far. We're not gay. Rico's upset, and then Eric Bischoff takes off his makeup, reveals himself to be the preacher. Outcome, 3-minute warning, and they destroy everyone. Well, this led to the aforementioned GLAAD not being very happy with the WWE, as you can imagine. They were very upset and disappointed with how the whole thing was handled by WWE. So yeah, so as I said, GLAAD, which is the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation. As I said, they were consulting with WWE throughout the storyline to make, help, people, perceive this storyline in a positive light. They basically were duped, and they put out a statement that said the WWE lied to us 2 months ago when they promised that Billy and Chuck would come out and wed on the air. So yeah, they were not very happy, and it wasn't long after that they went their separate ways. Chuck ended up joining the Full-Blooded Italians, and Billy returned to singles action before leaving the company. But the Billy and Chuck theme song is, I kind of like it. It's cheesy. It's a boy band, basically a boy band song, but not like one of the good boy band, not like NSYNC or Backstreet Boys. This is like 98 Degrees or O-Town, one of those boy bands. But it starts out a cappella with vocal harmonies, and it's the name of the song is "You Look Good, You Look So Good to Me," and that's what it's you look so good to me. And then the music starts in, and the verse, well, there's only one verse that they repeat. This is a Jim Johnston production. The verses are, I cannot turn my eyes away. I hang on to every word you say. You make me want to hold you. You make me lose control. And you make my heart and soul complete. Oh, baby, you look so good to me. So yeah, like I said, it's a boy band song. Boy bands were big at the time in the early 2000s still, and like I said, we're not talking NSYNC or Backstreet Boys. This is like O-Town, Liquid Dreams type stuff. But like I said, I enjoy, for the cheese factor alone. I enjoy it. Speaking of cheesy songs I enjoy, we're going to fast forward quite a few years, about 15 years, I think, to Mike and Maria Kanellis. Now, I was a big fan of Mike Bennett when he was in Ring of Honor and as part of the Kingdom, the original Kingdom, which was Mike Bennett, Maria, whose fiance at the time, who they ended up getting married, still married to this day, Matt Taven and Adam Cole, baby. I really loved that faction. This is when I was at the height of my Ring of Honor fandom, because they had so much talent at the time that are now either in WWE or in AEW. But so he left Ring of Honor. Him and Maria both left Ring of Honor. I believe it was 2016, maybe late 2015. And they made a stop at Impact. They were in Impact for about a year, and then they came to WWE. They left Ring of Honor at the end of 2015. They showed up at Impact in the beginning of January of 2016 and were there through March of 2017. So fast forward to June 18th, 2017, which was the Money in Bank pay-per-view. Mike and Maria debut, only not Mike and Maria Bennett or Mike and Maria Kanellis Bennett. They were Mike and Maria Kanellis. Mike had taken his wife's last name, which was supposed to generate heat, on Mike, because he was less of a man for taking his wife's last name. I'm guessing that was the thought, because they were heels. Unfortunately, they never really got off the ground in WWE here. Shortly after they debut in June, in September, Maria went on leave because she was pregnant with their first child. And without Maria, see, that's the thing. Like Mike should have probably went to NXT, but because he was married to Maria, this is just my opinion, because he was married to Maria, who had been with the company before, and was a fairly big star as far as the women go at the time when she was there. They got fast tracked, I believe, to the main roster, and they just didn't know what to do with them. So they, so without Maria, Mike was kind of a boat without a paddle. And then it just never worked. At one point they asked for their release. Ended up signing new contracts. And then when Maria got pregnant for the second time, they did the whole, like even further demasculating Mike by, Maria's like, you're not the father. And, it was like a who's the daddy thing for a minute. And then that stopped. And then when WWE made a bunch of cuts after WrestleMania this past year, they were part of it. So they understandably don't really have a positive outlook on WWE right now. But that's neither here nor there. They have a quote-unquote love song as their theme song. It's called True Love, believe it or not. And this is really in my wheelhouse. I am a huge fan of 80s hair bands. Love them. It's my favorite type of music. When I am driving in the car and I am listening to Sirius XM, I have it locked on channel 39, Hair Nation, more often than not. I love it all. Love, Poison and Warrant and all those bands. Love it. And one of the things that those 80s hair bands are known for are power ballads. So what we have here is a good old-fashioned 80s power ballad. But again, maybe not exactly the cream of the crop here. This, we're not talking Every Rose Has Its Thorn here. This is, I can't even come up with the O-Town comparison for this one of what it would be. It's very cheesy. It's very it's just stereotypical, I guess, of a hair is like if you were making a caricature of what a hair 80s power ballad is, it would be this song. It was produced by CFOs when they were doing all the music. And the problem I had, I actually like a lot of the CFOs music they produced. Like the Undisputed Era theme, I think is a absolute banger. As they say, the problem with all the CFOs themes is if you go to like listen to them on Spotify, they're all like 5 minutes long, but it's the same thing over and over. Like there's no second, third verse. It's just that repeats the same thing over and over. The Billy and Chuck, theme, that song's like less than 3 minutes long. So it's not a problem that they repeat the same verse over a second time. Like whatever. It's a short song. The Mike and Maria True Love is like a 4.5, almost 5 minute song, and it's just the same thing over and over and over again. All right. So you might notice I've done a bit of a wardrobe change. What happened was I filmed this next segment with the rest of the video, and when I went to go edit it, I wasn't happy with it, so I'm going to redo it and just kind of slide it in the video here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the Mike and Maria True Love theme song here on my computer. It will not come through on the video to avoid any copyright issues that might arise from that. And then also, so I'm gonna play along. Wasn't, like I said, I wasn't happy with it the first time, so we're gonna try it again and see how this goes. So I'm gonna get the video started. So there's a guitar solo that starts, and then it goes. It's great. Okay. I decided not to sing along. So that was how the song goes on the bass. And I will kind of go over the lyrics now, as well as kind of, you know what? We'll do a little tutorial. Why not? So as I said, the song starts off with a guitar solo, just a shredding guitar solo. And eventually everything ends up here on F. And before it goes, here's to the greatest love I've ever known. So that's C, D, A, and then a little ending back up on the F, or back down on the F. Sorry, excuse me. And then it goes back to the burning up with your love, burning up with your love, burning up with your love, burning up inside your love. And then the bass goes down. I've got a 5-string here. There you go. You can see the headstock there. I have a 5-string bass because the bass then goes low, so it's a lower C. It go keep me warm like a roaring fire. A, G, touch the flame just to know what it feels like. A, G, and then it goes, 'cause if they ask us if the fire's gonna keep us alive, I tell you, we're gonna be just fine. Only, not the fire's gonna keep us alive, it's burn us alive. I messed that up. See? I have red light syndrome. I play it and sing it just fine when I'm not recording and my phone's not going off. But when I record on the camera, then things tend to go haywire. Such is life. What do you do? So, but yeah, that's the song, and it just repeats itself over and over again, as CFO songs do. And now, back to the rest of the video. So yeah, there you go. Like I said, very 80s. I love it so much. I love it so much that like I said, they debut in June of 2017. I got married in November of 2017. And I told this before, I think on the DX episode. But when my wife and I got married, I was like, whatever you want to do is fine. I just need, when we do pictures, I need me and my groomsmen to take a bunch of pictures of us doing a bunch of wrestling hand gestures. And then when we walk out for the reception, we're using wrestling themes. And that was the hardest decision I've ever made. Deciding both for the wedding party and for my wife and I what songs that everyone was going to walk out to. And for a very short while, this song was one of the ones I was considering for her and I to walk out to at the reception. Because I thought it would be hilarious. I thought it'd just be great, but I thought it was maybe a little too campy, even for me. So I ended up settling on the wedding party walking out to the Four Horsemen theme song, and then my wife and I coming out to Ric Flair's theme, which was awesome because everyone wooed at me and I got to woo back. So, but that's neither here nor there. So yeah, that's Mike and Maria Kanellis' True Love theme song from the WWE. And that concludes our episode for today. Like I said, I wanted to shorten this up. I don't want to take a bunch of your time on these where you just got to look at my dumb face for, when I have a guest on to talk about an old pay-per-view, stuff like that, that's a little bit different. I don't mind going a little bit longer because there's some banter back and forth between people. It's a little more entertaining, I feel. But when it's just me, it's a lot to just drone on and on about stuff. So I am going to, in the future, try and keep these nice and short. We are approaching just under 25 minutes here, and we're all done. So yay. Hope you like this. I thought it was fun, something fun to do. I didn't really have any other ideas for a February topic, so I'm like, Valentine's Day. Let's incorporate that. So coming up the rest of the month, thank you for everyone who voted on the pay-per-view poll. So I will be covering No Way Out 2001, probably with Matt Durr again. But I might try and get someone else. We'll see. But probably Matt, because he and I both love that era, as we've said many a time here on the show. And then I probably going to have 2 music or shows this week. One of them is as soon as I get my vinyl in, I will be reviewing the new Foo Fighters album that came out on February 5th. I have been listening to it. I really like it, but I want to wait till the vinyl comes in so I can kind of show you guys everything. And yeah, so I'll give my thoughts on that, and then back to the Rock and Roll Retrospective this month. I will be talking about Rush's Moving Pictures album, which turns 40 years old this year. It's a great classic album, and I'm not sure if I'm going to have a guest for that one yet or not. It might just be me. So if it's just me, again, I'll try and keep it short. If it's guest, probably talk about it for a good long while. So that's it. That's all I got for you guys. Have a happy Valentine's Day, whether you're with someone or not. Enjoy TakeOver tonight if you plan on watching that. And other than that, until next time, see ya.